This will be Iowa County's new Health and Human Services building. It will house 7 different county departments and be the new meeting place for the county board. The building's total cost is $6.5 million.
Why they need it is a good question. I personally don't think they need this much space.
The long-range plan determined that the most urgent space needs was for social services and the health department, to try and group them all in the same, try and get them in the same building because they're intertwined, and also move some other departments out of the courthouse to this new building to free up some space that we have need for in the courthouse itself.
Biggest concern is that there's other liabilities in the county, there's other projects that need attention. You know, we're putting all our eggs into one basket. We're borrowing almost up to our spending limit cap. So our hands will be tied in the future as far as borrowing money.
The county has been talking about this project for years, but did not approve it until this past October. After that vote in October, a petition collected 2,000 signatures calling for a referendum.
I understand the petition. I understand them going out. To me, they were a little late. We had signed contracts with construction managers and the architect that once we approved to go ahead with the building, we were bound to build the building.
Also, a lawsuit was filed against the county stating the board did not use proper procedure to approve the project.
The public has tried to be involved with this process, and some of the procedures in the initial stages are very questionable that led up to them approving the building project to start with. And then when they went into the financing phase, they produced a document the night of the meeting, basically changed from a 3/4 board approval to a 50% or simple majority board approval. And they produced a 7-page document at the spur of the moment, totally changed the resolution, totally changed the requirements for to move forward with financing. And according to our board rules, that's not legal to do that.
That lawsuit prevented the county from selling bonds in January to fund the project. A judge ruled in favor of the county, and the board was told there was no pending litigation against the project. And so the board authorized the sale of bonds in March.
In fact, the judge has not issued his final statement on that yet. And there's still time left for us to file an appeal. None of that's been completed, and the corporate counsel represented that everything was complete.
When the judge ruled in our favor and dismissed it, the bonding company knew this. It's in the prospectus, and in spite of what some of these guys want to say, it was never told when it went out to bond, when it actually went out to bond to sale. It was in there that the litigation had been dismissed. It was in our favor, and that the group was still threatening. But what our attorney said, the outside attorney we hired, said the bond companies were all fine with that. They already had a ruling in our favor, so they didn't see it impeding the sale of the bonds, and thus the bonds went on.
By the time the county took up the bonding issue, about $500,000 had already been spent on the project, and construction was well underway.
What the county has done, leadership of the county, the 11 members of what they've chosen to do is defy all odds, and they just went ahead and started construction. So now they've dumped a lot of money in the ground and caused a lot of stress for the people. And what they're trying to do is force everybody's hand by spending money. I think there has to be accountability for those individuals that ordered this work to be done without fully funding it first. I think there's a possibility that it won't get funded.
Opponents say, given the state of the economy, this is not the time for local government to spend millions of dollars on new buildings. Supporters of the project say because of the economy, this is the perfect time to build.
One thing is the building's got a lot of waste in it, so we could eliminate certain features of that building, make it more affordable for the county and for the citizens and the residents, and try to salvage something out of it. It's going to be really hard because they went ahead and poured the concrete. I think there's a possibility that some of the people that ordered this work done could have some responsibility for some of those expenses too.
If they think we're rushing, it's at a great time to build. It's very, I mean, it's probably as economical as it's ever going to be. We got a great rate on our bonds, interest rate wise. I tell my wife, because she gets upset because we've been beat up somewhat on this building, is in 5 years, they'll think it's the best thing we ever did.
How residents truly feel about it now will become evident next week in the spring elections. For the MacIver Institute, I'm Bill Osmuski.